Hi, it's Polly here. Whee! Only tea this time. Haha. So, look, I just wanted to assure you, by the way, that with these anecdotes, I'm not picking on people. I'm picking on idiots, but I am an idiot. Yes, what I'm actually doing is celebrating tales of my people. Yes, I am, of course, a goonagoo nut job. Let us give you some examples. So, I was actually a speaking guest at a Worldcon. I had a publisher who had actually managed to get me over there for once. Whee! And but I have a friend, Bruce Rowe. Bruce is a actor, a theatre actor, and a fan, great friend. But we are standing outside the hotel because we're waiting for the registration for the con to open. No conventions registration has ever opened on time in the history of humanity, but what the hell. So there's hundreds of people standing around, and this pigeon is like wandering around in the drive, and it's kind of dragging one wing, and like, oh, it looked like it had like fishing line or something kind of caught under here. So yeah, I'm really good with animals. I just am. So it's like, oh, poor Pidgey, come on. So I managed to get hold of this thing, and the moment I touch it, this thing starts to flap, the healthiest pair of wings you ever saw on a bird in your life. It's like, oh, okay, fine. So it's desperate to get away. Well, look, we've all seen enough commercials advertising feminine hygiene products that we all know how to release a dove. We like release it under the sun, and off it flies. Go forth, spread peace, beautiful creature. So of course all right, okay, Pidgey, off you fly. And yeah, this thing resolutely keeps its wings folded into its body and goes in this perfect parabolic arc and goes bong off the roof of a car, bong off the hood of another one, and bonk into the road. Stands there, shakes itself, looks at me, and then it flies off. Flap, 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 flap. And 200 people staring at me. You absolute bastard. What? No, I was released because you and I said, oh. So yes, that trip. So what had happened was I was actually flown over to the USA as a sort of a literary ambassador from Australia. So the US Library of Congress, it picks just like one or two pieces of literature for its permanent collection, which represent each country. And they had picked my books to represent Australia. Me and Banjo Patterson, go figure that one out. So they kind of flew me over there. There's going to be this whole presentation. I had to meet like the Vice President of the USA, and then I had to do a reading in front of the Librarians Association. I think it was the Congress of Librarians of America or something. And okay, and so it's a whole big thing. So I turn up and I'm met by officials, and I had to go and meet Dick Cheney and not get shot. Can't, but oh well. But I'd caught some kind of flu or throat bug or something on the plane on the way over. So, like within a couple of hours of landing, my voice is going, and it like really hurt. And I've got to go and do this speech in this huge auditorium. I've got to read. They wanted like a few chapters read from my book and all this sort of stuff. I have no idea how to get through it, but Bruce sort of, we get this in the theatre. We said, you guys have cough mixture over in Australia, don't you? And so, yes, we actually do, and our cough mixtures, they're beautiful. They're these things you had as a child that soothe your throat, and they're lovely kind of, there's Irish moss and things like that. They're these kind of sweet, mellow, kind of soothing things. They just kind of, put you in a soothing place and stop the throat itches. And okay, they're not like super strong, but yeah, okay, that's not a bad idea. So he's, okay, I'll get you some. I'll get you the local one. And he goes off into this pharmacy, and he comes back with a bottle, and this bottle is full of stuff, and it was kind of like a what would you call it? 1950s nuclear blue. It was kind of an electric teal kind of colour. It looked like a prop from a 1950s science fiction film. You've got all the retorts and all the glass pipeware when for some reason they're making electronics, and this is the fluid that goes through all those. Yeah, it It was called Nyquil. Not a name that I knew then. It is a name I will never forget now. And this is because, yeah, he says, I say, oh, okay, so there's no little cup. You often get like with ours, you get like a little measuring cup. It's got like a little milliliter, 10 millimeter, 20 milliliter things. Because you're just going to take like a teaspoonful of this stuff. Or how much do you take? Oh, so he brings out like a full-on shot glass, which he just happened to have on him. He said, "Oh, you take you take a shot glass or two of this stuff. Take a shot glass or two once you get into the Library of Congress, and then down another couple, like a couple of minutes before you're due to go on. That'll be great." I says, "Well, that sure sounds like a lot, but okay, he's a local. I'll trust the local. My friends would never hurt me, no." So I taste this thing, and oh my god, this thing tasted like it was radiator fluid that had been drained out of a vehicle that had been found on a scrap heap in the post-apocalypse. It was just unspeakably foul. Oh my god. But it was like, oh Jesus. So I threw this stuff back, and oh god, and all right, so I'm waiting to go on, and here's this huge auditorium, this huge amphitheater, hundreds of people there, all waiting to see the damn foreigner turn up. And don't forget to take your other shots. All right, so he fills these two things for me, and I throw them back. Okay, got the book, got your markers, good. I stride out there, and this shit kicks in. Now, for our non-American listeners here, oh yeah, NyQuil's it's a cough mixture, all right. It's a cough mixture in the same tradition as the 19th century ones. Liquid heroin with a shot of cocaine in it for afters. Yeah, this stuff was like about 20% alcohol, and the rest was like paracetamol, depleted uranium, and God knows what else. So I start to try to walk out there, and like, oh shit, the stuff kicks in. I'm high as a kite. It's like, this is no good. Oh no. So I got through it somehow. Oh my god, you bastard, what have you done to me? If you go into the US Library of Congress to this day, if you go into their auditorium, if you check the podium, I think you'll find the indentation of my fingers in the hardwood, where I was clutching onto this thing to try and somehow keep upright, straight and steady. It's like, oh my god, that was just dreadful. But actually we were so it was a whole kind of dealio. We had to wander around and do things for a few days for this. So the next day, without the NyQuil, we're wandering along. We've got people from the Vice President's office with us. We've got people from the US Library of Congress and everything. Kind of this kind of entourage-y thing following behind us, because we've got to go to this and that and the other thing. Now, Washington is like, it's a city of show. It doesn't really have any kind of... It really doesn't have much of an organically grown part of it as a city. It's kind of built around monuments and processional ways and statues to this and views to that. So they're just kind of used to the fact that, there's a monument to something you never heard of on every street corner. Someone's just working on the sidewalk. They're just like doing normal repairs, but they've levered up some concrete blocks from the sidewalk, and they've laid a couple of these out, so there's like an oblong of concrete, probably about 7 or 8 foot long, and they've just laid it on some nice shiny green grass nearby. And they've also levered up a manhole cover, and they've put this at the bottom of this oblong, and then so no one will trip over it, they've put some temporary fence around it. But because it's Washington, it's not normal fence. No, this is like a concertina job that looks like a white picket fence, about kind of knee to mid thigh high. So they've made this perfect oblong around this. Good, now no one shall trip over it. And off they've gone. So Bruce and I come walking along, and I see this. Like, Bruce, what? Look, it's the grave of the unknown exclamation point. And Bruce looks at this like, oh yes, he takes his head off. My god, this is just such a beautiful moment. And so all these political people see us standing there and come racing over and say, oh, what's going on? I said, it's the grave of the unknown exclamation point. We're just observing a minute's silence. is an author thing. So, so in that very charming American way, they all put their hands over their hearts, and they all stay there like looking serenely up towards heaven and observe a minute's silence with us. And we had to, as we're packing it all up, okay, thank you everybody, this this means more to us than we can tell you. Oh my God, Americans, they're a very sweet but very gullible people. I suspect I'm kept away from there because I might be able to rule the place as a God Queen. Oh my God, it was hysterical. There was the publisher that had brought me over, Daryl. He had this Russian girlfriend, and she was so sick and tired of him. And Bruce and I are just so embarrassed because you can see she's just like, she's wanting to get out of here. She's tired of him. She just can't stand him anymore. And he was just so oblivious. He's sitting places and she's trying to break it to him, and he was too cheerful and too happy-go-lucky to actually hear the message. So she just walk up, and Daryl says, oh, honey, were you going to get us both a sandwich? Daryl, I'm leaving you. Says, oh, but you're coming back with the sandwich, right? It's like, oh. Jesus Christ, man. Oh God, Daryl, how do we break this to you? Sometimes, Daryl had started this publishing empire, and he was publishing books and whatever, for which I was grateful. But the other thing he decided to do was Gore magazine. Yes, that's right. He's decided that what the world needed more than anything else was a magazine, a regular bi-monthly magazine with stories and artwork of John Norman's Gore books, tonsmen of gore. And so I come in through the back of the place because he's parked out there, and he's got this whole staff making this thing. So there's these artists, and they've got these big sheets, and yes, they're drawing naked women all kneeling down eating from a trough, because women don't deserve plates and cutlery. And here's all this other like outrageous, misogynistic, crazy artwork of what they're drawing, and the artists all look like they want you to drive a pen through their skulls and just end their suffering. They took this job on because they thought it'd be a lark, but now they just realised, no, this is staining their souls forever, and they just, they need to expiate somehow. But you're trying to know where to look. Oh my God. But when you went to the front, there's this feature wall as you came in through the actual front wall, and the artists have taken a huge piece of whiteboard, and they've done up this thing, and it's Houseplants of Gore. This beautiful drawn houseplants, and it's just sort of, it's got in giant letters it says, "Nay, you shall not water me," said the houseplant. But oh yes, the houseplant was watered. And the watering was good, and the watering was deep. For nay, it was not for the houseplant to say how often she was watered, no, nor how deeply she was watered, nor how frequent would be the watering. And afterwards, as the water dripped from her fronds, the houseplant realised that now she was truly a houseplant of Gore, where only through being watered against her will would she find the true liberation that came with knowing that she was a slave under the watering can, and that the watering should be good. Like, the actual author of these books, Daryl, does he come to visit you? Oh yeah, no, he comes in just to see how it's all going. He's personally supervising everything. So he walks through and he sees this. Says, what? Oh yeah. So he's all right with this. Okay, so either John Norman has a good sense of humour about his own work, or a marvellous ability to just ignore what was there. But yes. Anyway. That was my marvellous trip to Washington. Cheers, everybody.